organised. Carb rebuild.
Today I'm going to show you how to put 535 carbs back on the bike. There's a few ways of doing it. None of them are easy. They're a pain in the backside. But I'll show you my way and see what you think. And hopefully your carbs will look something like that when they're on.
Pop these ones in for now. So I can put carbs in place and then take it from there. Because they're easy enough to pop out later. I'm just going to clean this one up. Because I think that's the best one. And also I think it's a Yamaha one, like I said, I think they're copied. So, quick spray of cleany stuff. Maybe use that one. Use it in a well ventilated area. Won't get high. For my liking. So, them, drop a spring in. Find the little lug. Little lug is there. That's why people end up damaging them, because getting them to sit like that while you put the lid on, a bit of a challenge. That could do with a bit of love as well, couldn't it? I'm not 100% happy with that surface. Let's see if that'll come off with a cloth, or if we're going to go a bit rougher. Not good enough for just a spray, so I'll scratch that off. In fact, what we'll do is I'll sort of lap it. Box of very smooth sandpaper. So we'll just going to rub it on some of this 1000 grit just to clean it and see how that works out. Already. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh, virtually spotless there. Nice. Put that spring centered in there. Lower that down. Make sure you're not nipping the rubber. Just put some screws in. Where is it? There it is. Lovely. The JIS. I'm going to two opposite sides. And remember that two of them are Torx. One's missing. One of the Torx ones is missing, that's why, because it's still set at the end of the Torx thing. So we'll use a Torx. It's not a great Torx, to be honest. That didn't sit well in it. Nice. Put another lid on the sandpaper. See there, it's scabby around edges. Just already. Done. It's enough. Right. So let's get that little lug set in there. Lovely pin. They probably run fire into these diaphragms in, but I'm just going to change them anyway. They're nipped up enough that it can't spring off. torque screws in. Actually, they're security torques, aren't they? They've got a hole in the middle and the end. That's why my torques don't fit in that well. They just fit in, so it'll do. I do actually have a little socket set that's got security torques. Now the only plate I've got is on this ruined set of carbs, so I need to take that, basically them 4 screws, and put it on there, because this is a single cable bike. On the double cable one you've got a return cable as well, so it sits a bit differently. But yeah, mine's a single. I think it sits, does it sit that way? Or does it even go that way? It might even go that way on the double. I just can't remember right now. It's either that way or that way. And the overflow pipes are slightly different on the double cable version. Anyway, we've got single cable version, so let's take that off. Oh, that was tight. Come on. Make sure we're fully in. There we go. Beautiful. Also notice on these the plastic end caps on there, whereas these ones metal end caps. Don't need those screws actually, do I? Got 4 in here. Whilst I'm screwing this in, click subscribe. I think we're up to about 5% of people that watch are actually subscribers now. And it costs you nothing, just click it. Like and subscribe. Notification bell. Click that as well. If that's a thing. Again, German method, good and tight. Right, I'm going to try and film this, but it's a little bit, your hands get in the way when you're working, but it is what it is. People tend to struggle fitting these carbs, and I'm not going to deny it, they are a bit of a pig. This is my single carb manifold adapter, which is not going to be used on this bike. And what people often do is try and put the carbs in with these fastened in and bolted in,
and it's not advised. You want to be fastening them up last. Now also, make sure you've got access to these screw heads. So make sure that's there. If it's around the back there, it's fouling your adjustment cover. So I'm going to have that one like that, so I can fasten it from there diagonally and easy get to it. And then likewise this one I'm going to have like that. So we'll put them down there for now. Because the other thing is, adjust my camera slightly, you've got these rubbers here. So the top of your carbs slide into these rubbers. These rubbers are designed so they push up into your airbox there. That's your airbox, your air filter's up on top, above. Let me move my camera. It's your airbox, air inlet, air filter, and these rubbers push up into this void. So what I would advise is greasing the bottom so they slip into these, but don't grease these because they're fairly easy to push up into place there and then clamp them. And then once you've got them up there and clamped, what I do is I pry the rubber down with the carb. Just make sure it starts to move from up there, because let me just show you what that rubber looks like. What I will do, I'm going to grease the rubber above, but don't grease it where your carb slides inside here. You want to clamp it with that, with a good solid grip, but the outside of it greased here, so that when you pull down on it all, it slides down into this position, and you can see why they're a bit of a pig to fit, but take that off. So they sort of come into this position. You think down versus up, butt fastened to your carb top. Now, what I like to do is grease that top bit. So pull them out. To there. That's fully down actually. So you see you've got the lip. This bit here sits around your carb. This bit here just slots back up there. I think I might have greased them in the past, looking at that. Anyway, let's have them down. Oh, heavy breathing time. Heavier than normal heavy. An asthmatic with hay fever, it's great. There. So that's the down position. These are actually a little bit greased. I might give them a little bit more. So I'm going to pop them out fully. So next level. Oh, they're picked to get out them, aren't they? So there you can see them now. That's the length of them, and they end up right up inside there. Yeah, I've greased them in the past.
Carbs. I've been on and off this a few times. When I was pottering around, I built some, and then I sold some, then I refurbed some, and then I took them off to do some measuring for the single carb manifold. Right, I'm just going to go away and grease that then. Right, so I've gone away there, I've greased this level and I've cleaned in there because I want that to grip my carbs and I want that to slide in and out easily on this this air box. So that's the position we want. Not put my fingers inside these now on that clean bit, so come on, you can do it. They're a bit of a pick to fit, aren't they? Right, so these top bits are greased. This inside bit is as clean as I can possibly get it, so that when I put these in and I tighten those jubilees, it nips up tight onto that metal there. What's stopping us going in? There we go, we're in. I just need that little tap clear there. Right, so tilt them to one side, push you back inside the rubber, straighten up, it's in the rubber, then bring a screwdriver, here's a screwdriver, you can see the thread of that one, it's there. I'm looking for the Jubilee head and thread. Oh, I can feel it there. Push it round. There, nice and accessible from this front bit. Right. You can see how easy they drop out when they're not clamped. So now, I'm going to angle that screw. God, it's a long screw. Should I fast forward bits like this? Let me know in the comments. Would you rather me fast forward stuff? Or would you rather me just leave it so you can see how long the actual job takes? See, that's tight. That's still dropping out, so that's not held yet. No, it's still loose. So get on there, tighten that. moving away from me as I'm pushing in to screw it. Not sure what angle it's at now. It's in the way of this pipe. So what I'm going to do is just push it around so that's it. Get straight on the screw. That's it, there it is. If you're not straight on the screw, you can't get it tight without it popping out, because you can't apply that much pressure to the front of it. My finger behind it, let's see if we can do that a bit better. Yeah, that's better. Hold in at the back so the Jubilee don't spin. As tight as I can get that. That one felt, the front one, felt like it touched the stop of the Jubilee. Right, for my next trick, you put these bottom bits in, which means you have to move your carbs up. Sorry, that's that one. Now, I'm going to try and squeeze one of them in by just lifting the front carb. I'm going to lift the front up like that. Yeah, so you can get in by doing that. Okay, I'm just going to grease that now so I can push it up onto it. Applied a thin layer of grease on the inside of that. Now also, I'm going to turn that over, because when that's in place on that screw head at this side, because I'm working from this side, and it'll be there like that, and I can access it. So now, if I push this rubber up onto the bottom of that, am I filming the back of my head here? It's gone in. I feel. Yeah, it's in position. Right, now I'm going to, same with this one again, a bit of grease. I'm going to move that clip over so it's accessible afterwards and I can nip it up. And I'm going to take some slack out of it now actually, so that when I come to do it, it's not 74 turns from to nip it up. But I'll just grease that. Spread the grease around. I think we're going to end up pushing this carb up into the body. I don't want to do that really, because you've got to get it back down again afterwards, but there's not room. There's not room here, is what I'm talking about. So I push that up. These slid on. I don't want to go up. Why aren't you going up? Talk to me. going, it's just gone over the lip. Yep, there we go. Oh, you little pig. Right, so you can see now the carb sits in the rubbers. Let me get my camera angle there. It sits in the rubbers, but it's this distance off the head, and then when you lower it down here, it closes that gap. Now, lowering it, what you want to do is make sure you don't pull it out of the rubbers at the top. So it's best to push the rubbers down. What I found's good to do that with is a bluntish screwdriver, a big flat-headed blunt screwdriver. Anyway, let's see what we can do. So there's the rubber lip. Obviously we want the carb and the rubber to come down together. Coming down, so I'm trying not to film back of my head and also see what I'm doing. So let me get in there under that rubber lip. It's not a great design, is it? You can see why people lose the plot with them. Yeah, you see my carbs have now slid out of that rubber. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to loosen that Jubilee. I didn't want to be doing this, but it's what's happened. I'm going to loosen that Jubilee and try and pull it back down over my carb. That's virtually in position now. What a pig of a job. Yeah, that rubber hasn't come down at all. It's coming down now. On that side. And that one's half come down. It's down at this side, but it's not at that side. Oi. Dear Yamaha, I hate you. Right, I think I'm struggling that rear one because the Jubilee's still too tight. Because it's come off on one side. Is that one? I think that one's loose enough. Yeah, I think it is. Well, that's looking pretty close to me. Sweat and tears. Notice I haven't put these bolts in yet. To get them out, some of them are really tight up to there, and it's an Allen key. So I ended up cutting the end of an Allen key to make a short one, because that's really the only way I get into it, the tiny Allen key. But they look like they're in, because that second rubber lip looks to be down there. Yeah, it's down. So, nip up the Jubilee holding them. So those carbs are not going to drop down any now. Put my finger on the back of this one again. There we go. But yeah, not a great design, but it's what we're working with. So you can see I'm just finishing off putting these four screws in the rubber mounts
and I use a cut down Allen key because there's only really this one that's fairly accessible. The rest are a right pain in the ass. So the clearance here is just minimal. And I think the reason for it is I think that originally Yamaha would have said leave them in place, undo these jubilees, push your carbs up, and you can get them out that way. But putting them back's harder, I think, because then you're trying to push that into there, and you can't push and twist so much, and you end up pulling this out like I did. And there's no easy way, but that's one way of doing it, what I've done there. And you can see now, carbs are mounted. They're proper tight in there. If that starter motor would work, I could have a go at lighting it up, but let's see. Oh! Did you hear? It did a bit of battery voltage dropped about 10 volts there.